Thanks for making it. Thanks for, especially after a holiday weekend. I know that everyone's kind of in, lazy mode. I know it's, like I said, I'm traveling. But I have some really, I think some really valuable content to share tonight. But so first of all, let me just do a quick, introduction of myself. If you're new to, if this is your first time on a team call, welcome to Team Phoenix. And my name is Megan Eggleston. I'm the founder of Team Phoenix. We've been going for about 3 years now. And our team just hit a really big monster goal last week of becoming a superstar team, which is the top rank in Beachbody. We're really excited about that, and we're celebrating the team's success and commitment to excellence. So a lot of resources for you, and these tools are one of them. I do my best to provide really solid content. I do it twice a month because we really do value your family time. We know how important that is, and we try to make sure that when we do invite you to these things, that the content is something that's meaty and will really help you move your business forward. Just like the national wake up call that you're listening to Mondays. So just a few announcements. If you did not catch this on the team page last week on Friday, we did announce our Phoenix Leaders Retreat. It's our second retreat. We did our first one this year in May, and it was really successful. This is, if you're unfamiliar with this idea, basically it's a way for us to recognize and reward the top leaders on the team, and to just reward you for your success and reward you for your effort and your commitment to being an example and a strong leader on the team. So there are some qualifications, just so you know what it would take to earn something like this. And I encourage you to check it out on the team page. Or actually, if you're not on a newsletter, that's how I'm sharing it. I'll share it again this next Sunday. I put the newsletters out usually on Sunday. This time I was delayed because of my travel and the holiday. But generally every Sunday that newsletter goes out to you. If you're not receiving it and you're signed up, check your spam box, or whatever it's called, junk mail. If you're not registered for it, make sure that you get access to that. Reach out to your upline. They can give you the link to subscribe to get those. That's how I can stay in touch with you, because the team page is not a great way to do that. It's a great way. It's not the best way because things get lost. But I did post it in the team page too. But here are the basics, and I want to make sure that I'll give you the real quick and dirty. So if any of you, it's on your radar, you kind of have an idea of what it looks like. So Success Club will be, Success Club from July through December is one of the main requirements. It's just achieving a bare minimum of 3 people every month. Just setting that example of serving at least that many people on their fitness journey each month, and as well as achieving diamond rank for the first time in 2016, or if you achieved it prior to this year, then showing that you are growing or moving forward in your business by either advancing to Star Diamond or becoming a team leader on the leadership ladder. And those details are available in your back office. You can research that a little bit to see what that looks like if you did achieve Diamond in 2015 or before. So those details, you can get those in the team page or in the newsletter. Everybody knows what the challenge pack specials are. We're not going to talk too much about it. I've already lost time you can look that up in the back office. I won't tell you anything you find for yourself right now, since I did cut into our call time. I did want to just say, awesome job with the Fit by the fourth challenge we did. That was really fun. You guys really seem to be motivated and were challenged by getting a head start, like on the month. Not even a head start, but really just being proactive and intentional about working through a holiday weekend. It's a challenge. It falls on the beginning of the month falls on a weekend, especially a holiday weekend, and that's a prime travel time. It's the summer. It's really easy to kind of coast through that first weekend, then start to think about the business and making your efforts towards helping people. So I hope that really sets you guys all up for success, and that you're thinking about being ahead of the game early in the month. And that's one of the things that we're really going to talk about tonight. I named this call, real quick before we get going, I'm going to do our little live your little reward for making it live, because this is mine. I love when you get to attend live. Sometimes we have to listen to the recordings, and that's totally okay. But you guys made it here. So I'm going to do a quick little, oh, can I from my phone? Yes, I can. Oh, just my phone. A quick little raffle entry, prize entry. I'd like for you to share your favorite, well, let's just say the way that the recipe that you made your Shakeology today. So was it chocolate vegan with almond milk and banana? You know, whatever it was, I want you to put, I'm going to post something in the Facebook page. I'll post it. Then you can post under it. You comment below it. Okay. Kristen, did you already post? Oh, I was like, Kristen, you're always on top of these. You're so fast. Thank you for posting that. I see where you guys have hooked me up. I appreciate it. So team live, team call, raffle, drawing, and go. So I'd like you to go below that post, and just share that. So I'm going to do a drawing from those of you who comment below, just to send you a little prize as a reward for making it live tonight. So if you're a new coach maybe and you haven't even gotten your Shakeology yet, just post whatever flavor you ordered for your challenge pack. All right. Here we go. All right, guys. I'm calling this call 30 Days to Limitless Success. So the reason that I'm calling it that is because what I have found when I started growing this business and decided that it was something that I wanted to use as a platform to perhaps grow something bigger than me, build an income, because at first I didn't have those goals. I did decide to commit to at least Success Club, but I really didn't know where I was going with this. I mean, I had some ideas of how much I enjoyed it. I was just feeling, but I wasn't, for those of you who don't know, I was not planning to grow a big business. I wasn't planning to really grow a real business. I was having fun and so in love with the products and wanting to share this with others. So, but what I found helped me to make a serious movement and serious traction was committing to my efforts 30 days at a time, like a month at a time. Even when I decided I wanted to do more than just have fun and be fulfilled by, cheering people on in challenge groups, like I said, I didn't have big dreams. I didn't know what I wanted. I just knew that I wanted to be a little bit challenged. I wanted to just grow as a person. And I just took it a month at a time. Like I said on the, if you listen to the live feed that I did on Friday, there was a quote that I shared that I think really helps me refocus. Is I'm not sure if I'm going to say it like verbatim, but something to the effect of striving to be the best is not attainable, but striving to be better than the day before, or striving to be better, is sustainable. So, if and many people do come into the business knowing they have huge dreams, many of them get a couple months in and say, I want to take this to this rank, this kind of income. And that's great. Like, I think if you have that vision, that's awesome. I didn't. But I think it can be really overwhelming when you think about long-term, like, what does that look like? So what happens is people can tend to have this like all or nothing mindset, or they can just get so gung-ho and get so after it and then fizzle. And motivation, ambition, drive, that's a wonderful thing. Use it, run with it, use that momentum. Like it's an extraordinary gift to have. I'm a pretty driven person myself. But it can be poisonous if you are going after something so hard without a real plan, because you end up being really discouraged. And I think especially when you come into a team like ours, as valuable as it is to have all the success that you can learn from and the resources that you can learn from and the leaders that you can be inspired by and motivated by, you can easily look at their level and where they're at, and it seems so far away for you. And it can just make you feel like, how would I ever get there? You know, and that's really unhealthy mindset to have. So I would love to challenge you guys all to think about, you can have limitless success. Who knows what that looks like right now? But if you focus on the 30 days in front of you, that grows that potential and that capacity greater and greater and greater. When I am focusing on not being the best, whatever that looks like, whatever that means, but I'm focusing on being better, I am setting goals that are just beyond where I'm at right now, or that stretches me a little bit more than I'm currently performing. And I don't think you always have to do that. I think there's definitely seasons where that's not even reasonable. You should do. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But there, especially when you're, in the beginning stages of this, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. And you see so many other people who diamond in 20 days or whatever, or even like, superstar for me in 3 years is really, it's a pretty speedy pace. Others have done it faster, but I think that can be intimidating to some people. But I was never looking at it in terms of hitting the biggest rank possible and the fastest. That was never even a thought. So I want to challenge you to think about this. Your 30 days to limitless success, and this is something that you repeat day or month after month. So let me give you a little bit of insight what those 30 days will look like. I legitimately have, I lost my notes, of course. Let me open them up real quick. Grab a glass of water while I open up my notes. Here's the challenge. Or here's one of the reasons that I felt this was important to talk about. I think we're setting a pretty strong team culture around Success Club. I think as a team, we've really set that standard as a bare minimum of something that holds us accountable to committing to helping a minimum number of people. It's not meant to ever make you feel bad if you don't hit it necessarily. I don't want anyone to ever feel that way, but it's really important to have a metric or something to hold us accountable to, something that helps us to strive for, because if you don't have those in place, there's nothing to really measure in growth and improvement. You can't really analyze. So how did my month look? Did I do what I, set out to do? And so what happens is people get this, and this is good. I'm so glad that we're starting to get this culture that we're committing to this service of others, trying to reach our three people. Is that tends to be the focus is, I gotta find my this one. And what ends up happening often is people can put off making efforts towards that, or their efforts can be, kind of in the beginning of the month, it's the middle of the month, and I see these leaderboards going up, and I'm not on there. I gotta get going, and then you feel bad about yourself, and then you're discouraged, and I never want anyone to feel that way. We came into this to make a difference in people's lives. But if we get too focused on that end goal of helping 3 people a month, then every time that next month comes around, it feels like an effort. It feels like, and sometimes in the beginning, as a new coach, I remember that was a stretch for me, making finding those people. It was effort. It was hard. I was not sure I could do it every month. There were, I started in the May of the year that I started coaching. And I remember that feeling like, I don't know if I'll do it again. I just don't know if I can, let alone people making these double digit numbers. So it does feel that way in the beginning as you're learning how to work your power, as you're growing your network, as you're kind of getting the hang of that. But I find that people can easily hang out in that place, and every month it feels like a huge effort, and you can easily if this is what it feels like every month, then how could I ever how could I sustain this? How could I keep this up? You know, that messes with your confidence, with your belief in yourself, and which impacts your efforts. It impacts your discipline. It impacts your motivation to do the behaviors. So what I'm encouraging you to do is this 30 days of limitless success is creating a rhythm month to month, because when this rhythm is in place, it's effortless. The finding people to help, having conversations. You're never at a loss because there's a rhythm and a flow to your month, to your week even. And I say, you know, start with the month flow, but now my weeks have a rhythm. And that rhythm is what gives me now confidence. And here's the truth. If you're not feeling confident in your capacity to reach your goals right now, until you have that confidence, because it comes with time and it comes with personal development, it comes with a lot of things. Having confidence in the systems for success helped me before I had the confidence in myself. When I committed to the systems first, my confidence came with it. You know, I couldn't will. It's like, you know, it's like when someone says, believe in yourself, and you're just like, awesome, like that's helpful. Like you can't just will yourself to believe in yourself. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of things. It's not just a decision, really, unfortunately. So, but there is an action item of committing to a system, and that's what I think starts to develop your own confidence in yourself. So, of course, not finding my computer, so let me find out my phone. Here it is. Okay. Okay. So today is when we're all going to identify or define what our month looks like. We're not going to go, you know, it's not going to be like a willy-nilly, whatever it takes to help me find my 3. Like I said, in the beginning, it might feel more like that as you're getting the hang of your rhythm. And your rhythm does take time to get. I mean, any kind of rhythm does, but you got to start somewhere. And so for those of you who are new and kind of still feeling like, you know, what does a rhythm look like? You're actually in a good position to hear this. So you'd never find yourself like 5 months down the road feeling like you've never found a rhythm or a flow to your month, so that you have confidence every month that you're doing what it takes to improve your business, improve yourself, your journey. Let me kind of do a little pause right here. Well, here. Hi. This is my mother-in-law.
Hi. In her pajamas.
All good.
All day.
I'm sure these ladies are in their pajamas too.
Enjoy.
And I'm sure they spent all day in their pajamas before too. So I wanted to say this because this is a theme that I keep hearing come back around with even like top leaders in the company. Is this real back to basics approach? It's seeming like we all want like these new ideas and new systems and new strategies, and we're like new social media tactics, and you know, we get a little bit aggressive about focusing on those things and like or learning more about those things so that we can get better. But part of your 30 days, part of your rhythm must be the basics of your fitness journey. It must be the basics of getting your, you know, committing to your fitness journey, committing to sharing your progress, committing to your Shakeology. We can easily get out of that flow and that rhythm by working so hard on our business that we're neglecting those things that got us to, you know, in the first place. This happens a lot, and maybe some of you haven't experienced that yet. But I'm going to caution you if you haven't, especially coaches who have started to see some success and they have started to like build a team and have, you know, they're hitting Success Club, or they've hit a rank, or they're wherever they're at. You know, you can really get distracted by so many other things and lose your journey. It happens all the time. And I keep hearing other coaches that will it's all the time. They're telling, I'm seeing it happen. People talk about it in these groups I'm a part of. And I'm like, how does that happen? It's because we get so distracted by the business side and forgetting that what got us there in the first place. What got you that success in the first place was the basics of starting a fitness program, sharing the journey, showing progress. The stress of the business side can cause you to eat more, as stress does. So I just want to caution you, and if maybe some of you found yourself there, I've been there multiple times. You kind of get so caught up in everything else that you're like, well, I'm fit, I'm good, but you're not doing the actual behaviors that got you there in the first place. So everyone should be consistently showing improvement. And that does not mean you're defining your abs more. It does not mean you need to be getting skinnier, more sculpt every day so that you're not ultimate perfection in 3 years. I just mean you are constantly sharing the progress, the process of that journey, the head space, the slips, the falls. So really want to see our team take a real back to basics approach of starting something, sharing, I'm on day 3 of my journey today, not just generic fitness posts all the time. People need to see a start. They want to see something start in the they want to see something go from here to there. You know what I mean? We're kind of addicted to that. We love to see before afters. You know what I mean? We like to know that there was a starting place and there was a place that you ended up, even if it's not visual. We like being a part of a journey. We like being taken on a story line. So if you're kind of finding yourself, I'm working out every day. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my product. I want to just challenge you if you haven't done it in a while, start a program over, start to finish, and share the story, share the journey. Talk about, your Shakeology, not every day, but so I just wanted to kind of, before we got too far into this, really make a big statement for the basics of success in this business. We can talk all day about the advanced training, but that is it's the cornerstone of how people are inspired by us. Okay. Okay. So let me get into my notes. So if you have not gotten the calendar, it's in the newsletter. So if you don't get the newsletter, make sure you somehow, some way get a hold of that. I put a team calendar in the newsletter. You don't have to use my calendar, but it already has all the national wake up calls and the team calls and everything in it. And it's pretty. And it has the challenge pack specials. It even has some suggestions on social media posts, throughout the week, some ideas when you're uninspired, just, what are you going to share on, today. So, you want to have something that you are working from and looking to each month, right in front of you day to day. Because we're going to talk about how we set up our weeks. What are we focusing on? I kind of give each of my weeks a mode or a zone. Because I feel like when I have a strong focus, I'm able to be more intentional about my social media, about my inviting, about my connections and communications with people. So I'm going to share with you what mine looks like. Just screenshot or a screen share real quick. Of course, it closed. All right, here's your intermission to grab some water or something. So something to note is that when I'm looking at my month, so let's look at July, for example. we're already into it. But when I look at my month, I start with week 0, I guess I should say. And week 0 would be, I guess, week 4 of the month prior. So what does that mean? That means I already did my 5-day last week. I did my 5-day last week, and no, that does not have to do with the month of June. That has everything to do with the month of July, because I am now, thanks to my rhythm of 3 years, and don't compare yourself to don't compare your middle, to where I'm at. I'm now sitting at Success Club 10 because of, previous efforts of connecting with people, for sure. But that 5-day environment that I had set up prior. So I already knew that was happening, so that I knew that I would be inviting people right away, so that I would be earning Success Club right now. So what does that mean? Can you imagine what it would feel like to have July 5th and not have to think about hitting goals of Success Club goals and thinking about those kind of things as metrics and stuff? Can you imagine what would you do with the rest of your month, and how amazing connections you could build with people, the relationships that you could dig into, the leaders that you could create, the people that you could really help see why they'd be a great coach, help your own coaches become successful. You could create trainings for your new coaches. You could do so much when you already have that. You could get Success Club 20. You could do whatever if you wanted to. You just get to decide. You could just decide, I don't care to grow much more than that. I like having a minimal level of success and feeling good at. That's the beauty of it. You get to kind of decide what you want this to look like. And that's what I want. I never wanted to sweat numbers. So week 0 is what is my 5-day. Now, a lot of you know a lot of my coaches use my system. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to just show a screen share for those of you who have not seen what this looks like. Oh, darn, it's just going to ask me to upgrade my account. It'll end in 10 minutes. I can't update it now. All right, so my little verbiage before this: have a plan and be consistent. People need to know what to expect from you. That's the thing too, is when you have a rhythm and a flow to your month, people catch on to it, or people begin to just expect something from that's going to happen from you. So, maybe someone's not interested now, but they know that it's going to come around because they've seen this happen on a rhythmic, consistent, regular basis. And that is everything. Your credibility is everything. If you're showing up every day, it's everything. If you're, putting on social media consistently, it's everything. That means everything to everybody. And that said, sporadic challenge groups lead to sporadic results. And that's not what you want. And that leads to sporadic success. That leads to absolutely zero momentum. Consistency creates momentum. Momentum that's why when I moved last year, I could just say, this is not a time for growth. This is a time to take care of my family. This is a time that I can put my minimal level of effort into my business, but focus on the things that are really important right now. That momentum was there to the consistency, the looking at my month 30 days at a time and committing to this system, this rhythm, set me up. So on those months when life just happens, sometimes you don't know when life's going to happen. I know it's going to move. I could kind of set things up, but sometimes you just don't know. Things happen. Life happens. Crazy things happen. It's a beautiful thing to not feel like I'm losing ground or feel like I'm not, that momentum has been there. That train is still on the tracks. It's got some momentum. Problem is we like to get the train moving and then stop, moving and stop. And that's how much effort. That's what you can't sustain long-term. So when it comes to a stop, it takes a lot more power and energy to get going again. But when it's going and it stays on the track, nothing can stop it. And that's a pretty cool feeling. It's a pretty cool feeling when you feel like your train is staying on the tracks. The truth is, it does take some time to get it going. It does take some momentum. I have coaches who, oh my gosh, these 5 days don't work, or I've invited and nothing's happening. And it's really easy to slide back because of that. you think, this isn't working, you don't believe in the systems enough or you're in yourself enough to like put the extra effort in because, you don't get to see the return right away. It's really easy to do. So I will just say it does take some time to get this rhythm going. Commit to it, and you will see those results. If this thing does cut off, we're going to have to, let me see if I can upgrade it right now. I don't know if I can because I might ask for payment information right now. If it does, I don't have it on me. If I can upgrade it now, I will. Otherwise, we'll have to click back in to, does anybody know if you can just, no, never mind. We'll just have to click back in about 6 minutes. So the same link that got you in, we can actually click it again. It'll load us for another 40 minutes, though I won't go another 40 minutes. So just know that in 5 minutes, I'm gonna just have us all log off and back it on. Okay, so week 1. So if by chance you did not have a free group last month or last week, you're like, I wasn't on the track, I wasn't on a rhythm, but I got to get going. Decide today that next week is going to be your free group. I don't think I have to do a big pitch for free groups. I hope I don't have to do a big pitch for free groups, but I will say I know the 5-day clean eating isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea. Find something that works for you, but these free groups, they make a huge impact on keeping the clean going. The referrals, the contacts. Is it getting this dark? Yeah, I'll do it. Things are dark. So you can commit to next week. That means putting out an invite tonight. That means putting out a post tonight and inviting for the rest of this week. Okay, and then we'll be backing up your month. Okay. Hang on, I'm putting down a umbrella. Okay, it gives me a little bit more light. Thank you. Yeah, so this is week 1 of my month, and I'm in challenge group invite mode. Yes, we have a power hour. Yes, that gives me like a basic number of people to invite, but I'm inviting well over those numbers because I know that next month I'm not going to invite as many. That's okay, y'all. It's okay. We put out these power hour, documents, and we give these suggestions because that kind of consistency does build the momentum. But the reality is, some people work, and I'm putting out a crap ton of invites this week because I know the following week it'll be fewer and fewer. I'm still focusing on all the vitals and all those things in the power hour. It's just going to be at a different level each week. And I think a lot of people work this way. You kind of think more in like the what they call it, they call it like bulk. There's actually a psychological term for this when it comes to productivity. I don't know, but I forget what it is. But that's because the next week I'm really focusing on recruiting coaches. So I don't necessarily invite 5 every week. I might invite 20 within 1 week. Do you know what I mean? However, it's something that you want to constantly be thinking of and have on your radar as you do your days. But the rhythm that this is, the way this is set up for me helps me to know that I'm getting it all in at some level every month. And that's okay. It's okay if it doesn't look the perfect same every month, every week. That's okay. You just want to hold yourself accountable to some minimal level. Whatever your goals are, you're going to have, some of you are going to have more minimal goals. Some of you are going to have crazy goals because of your why. Whatever your goals are, no matter how, minimal or crazy, you want to give yourself a bare minimum. You want to give yourself a goal. You want to give yourself something to hold yourself accountable to. So this will work no matter what your goals are. You can decide what that looks like for you. If I just want to have, I'm okay growing my team by 1 coach a month. Okay, your activity is going to look different than someone who wants to grow their team by 5 a month, right? But you still want to have those standards to hold yourself accountable to. So first week, I'm posting my challenge group. I've already posted it. I'll post about it again. I'm in invitation mode. I've already invited all my 5-day challengers, and I'm continuing to have conversations this week. I've already hit my Success Club, minimal, and I'm starting to load my paid group open and send welcome emails to that. Second week, and I'll share this document, so you don't have to copy this necessarily. I have 2 minutes before I have to close this out. I'm in recruiting mode. This is when I'm really thinking about all the people who maybe from my previous challenge groups, conversations I've had the past month. I'm really thinking about getting into conversations with them, starting to share the idea of coaching with them, answering their questions and objections. I am really, because it's much easier for me to invite, say, 20 people in a week when I'm just I have my script, so to speak, and I'm just doing it boom, 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 boom. It takes a less anxiety out of it for me, and I feel more confident. Okay. I'm going to actually say goodbye to everybody, so this doesn't cut me off. And then I'm going to encourage you all to click back into the link. All right. Because it's going to cut me off. Good? Got the memo? Okay. Turning it off, and we're going to go right back in. All right. So week 2 was when I'm in recruiting mode. This is when I am still, setting up my challengers. Now, some people, I'll say this, some coaches find that they start their challenge groups, their 21-day groups, the second week of the month. I don't prefer to have that quick a turnaround. But some coaches are, they have their 5-day, and as long as they get everyone invited and stand up at that weekend, they can launch theirs the next weekend. Bugs. I like to have a little bit more time to have more conversations and give myself a little bit more time to help my coaches, perhaps my new coaches, get loaded into my group if they want to apprentice me and they have their own challenges but aren't ready for their own. So you decide what works for you. I would just say positioning your free group at the very end of the previous month is a best practice, so that you can, this is just the focus that you can have on other things in your business. So that's I would say that's that's definitely a best practice that we found. But where you position that challenge, because some people think, they want to have their pay group right away so people don't lose momentum. Whatever works for you. My people tend to be procrastinators. Wonder why. So whatever works for you. So this might change a little bit for you. You don't have to do exactly how I do it, but knowing what your rhythm is really important. Knowing what your month looks like, being able to take this system and apply it to every month on your calendar. I was actually providing you guys a marketing calendar, but I'd rather empower you guys to look at your own month and say, here's my guideline, and you make this work for you, rather than me feeling like I know what's best for your month, because I don't. So I'm focusing really heavily on signing up new coaches, getting them loaded in their training if I can. Sometimes these conversations take a lot longer, but this is a month that I know that's where my focus is. And when I know my focus, my mode, that also impacts my social media. So I want you to think about it. The way that you're doing your social media should be influenced by the mode that you're in. So we're going to be dropping some hints about coaching. We're going to be, talking about when my sneak peek is going to be, when you're, if you have an opportunity call. Knowing the mode you're in can really determine how you're sharing on social media. Are we doing these things all throughout the month? Sure. But when you can have a mode that you more heavily focus, you can be much more intentional and much more effective. So by this next month, I'm trying, me personally, you can choose yours. I'm deciding to get to Success Club 10. True story, when I got started, Success Club 5 was painful. For me, it was really hard. It took me, it seemed like such an effort for the first few months, but I committed to it. I decided I'm going to make it happen. It was a no matter what. So I just thought I wanted to challenge myself a little bit more than I thought I was capable of every month. And it wasn't until like October. So I started in May, I had 5 months, where I was successful. I started to see that I had I hit 8 months. So that's when that's when I upped my goals. And that's what you'll find that yourself doing when you commit to just 30 days at a time, a little bit more, just a tiny bit, you'll find yourself really stretching way beyond than you ever thought possible when you take it 1 month at a time. So I'm also tending to finish up my previous month, which lines me up really good for recruiting mode, of course, because the 21 30-day challenge that I had in June I'm identifying who I thought my, potential coaches are, and I'm talking to them about coaching in my recruiting mode week. See how it kind of lines up really well? And so I add them to my lifetime accountability group, or I should say right here, I'm inviting to coaching appropriately, who I thought, might. And then I have a lifetime accountability group. Relationship mode, I call it relationship mode next week, not because we're not building relationships every other week of the month, but because I'm not so aggressively recruiting coaches. I'm not so aggressively, and I shouldn't say aggressively, I just mean I'm not so intentionally focusing on challengers. I really spend the bulk of my time really getting deeper into relationships. So I'm just going to be beefing up that part of, I'm sorry, there's like this I'm really beefing up getting into people's lives that week. I hope this helps. I don't know if this helps you, but I think it can be kind of overwhelming to think I have to hit 3 messages this day, and if it's 3 messages today, I gotta do 4 posts. The numbers can be a little bit overwhelming, but when you don't take it so literal and realize they're going to be heavier weeks. Just I hope that gives you some comfort. So I'm going to be doing just a bunch more messages that week, and I'm starting to promote my next 5-day. And this might seem like it's so there's so many moving parts, but when you have it kind of defined like this for yourself, then it's not quite as crazy as you think. When it's already kind of outlined, you don't have to remember so much, and it can feel that way, especially when you're newer. You feel like, oh, I got to remember all these things. But when you kind of already have it outlined for yourself, you don't have to remember it. It's become second nature for me for the most part. I mean, I still kind of, where am I at? But you don't. It's going to take some time. So just kind of having it outlined helps you not feel all over the place, chaotic in focus, which gives you confidence, when you're not feeling chaotic. So let's see. You can read, so I'm not going to get too heavy into what that looks like week 3. And then week 4, last week of the month, I'm running my 5-day. So I'm really heavily figuring out how can I get more referrals? How can I get more contacts? I'm trying to get contacts throughout the month during my power hour, of course, but here's where I'm saying, how can I get more referrals? That's when you get creative. When you know the mode trend, you get creative. That's how you're like, you know what, I'm going to incentivize my 5-day person who committed to 5-day. I'm going to say, hey, if you post this on your page, I'll put you into an entry for a drawing. When you know that your focus is, I want more referrals. What would that look like for me to get more referrals? How do I do that? How do I encourage? So this is where I'm really heavily seeing who I can get to refer, the 5-day to me, because that's tends to be a safe, very safe way to get referrals. So that's my main focus, and I'm just inviting as many people into my free group as possible that last week of the month. I hope when you look at it like this way, it gives you a sense of calm and peace that this is reasonable and realistic. And I'm going to share this with you so that you can take it, copy it, make it your own, however you want your week to look. This is just, a starting place. But here's something that I think I think will be helpful. So no matter what your business and work time looks like, because some of you have an hour, some of you have more. Whatever it is, you can use this. I don't think about it. This is my beach body time. This is my coaching time. This is my I do. I mean, I have to define my work hours for my family's sake, of course. But I'm always a coach, and I try to poise myself that way. I try to, even when I don't want to, which is kind of a cool thing. It's an accountability to being the best version of myself possible. When I know that I've committed to being a Beachbody coach, or committed to be a coach, I'm not just a coach on the computer. The way that I carry myself in the presence of others, even when it has nothing to do with my business or fitness or anything, is, this is, I don't clock into a job. My defined work hours, but when you characterize yourself and your behavior as somebody who strives to provide value, you're going to attract, just attract to yourself. So don't get so caught up in the to-dos and the, I'm going to give you these best practices to give you some guidelines. But I do also want you to remember that it's who you are to provide service and value. everything. And it won't be natural at first, but I think we're all striving to be better versions of ourselves. So I mean, I think when you think about even when you're walking through the grocery store, smiling at people, making people feel better about themselves by just making eye contact and asking how they're doing, you'll surprise some people. You know, this is something that is hard for me, and I've mentioned it many times, and people are watching you. Don't let it scare you. Embrace it. Accept that responsibility. You know, people see that you decide to do this. You're sharing that you're doing it. They are looking to you to see if you're legit. They're looking to you to see if you're credible. That doesn't. I mean, don't like I said, don't let it scare you. Don't let it seem like you can't eat poorly, or you can't ever, or you can't screw up. I mean, we're human, but the more that I embrace and accept that responsibility, the better it just makes me as a person, and to serve my family too. So I just want you to remember, that all these to-dos are one thing, but when you just kind of position yourself as somebody that's going to provide value, all things, they'll start to fall into place so much easier. Some of you is going to be more natural than others, than it was for me. And like I said, I may protect my family time and me time from the hustle of coaching, but coaching is who I am. It's a lifestyle. People want to know that this is legit, not just a side job. This is not just some product you're sharing on social media like everybody else is right now. Everybody else is pushing their products, leading with the products, but you're leading with a lifestyle and a sense of self and an improvement that everybody wants. Everybody wants to be better, a better version of themselves. And it makes you authentic, credible, and reliable. And that's what it's about. So I'll finish it up with this. There's so many bars. Consistency is key. Do not be an all or nothing coach. We wear that like a badge of honor sometimes. And I'm just all or nothing. It's like, oh, I'm just so hard and driven. It's not a badge of honor to be all or nothing. It really isn't, because it's really, I'm all or I'm scared. I'm scared of not being the best. I'm scared of not, I don't like to know that I'm not able to give this all my all, because you can't. Most of us have other things going on in our life. You can't, I mean, it's easy to say, well, I could do better at this if I didn't have a job, or I didn't have, 3 kids to put down, or whatever. You can say all these things. Of course, we all could if we didn't have it. So to really embrace, like I said, being better is, growing to be better is sustainable, but striving to be the best is just not attainable. So you make a decision what you want to realistically commit to each day. It doesn't have to look one way. It can look very different for each and every one of us. It's just deciding what it is and committing to it. You make the decision if that's realistic, and so you're the one that you're saying no to the next day when you decide to let the TV show decide, or you're just really tired from a rough day. Make it realistic and know that it's something that you can commit to. And my last one is, work from a to-do list and not your inbox. There's no rhythm and flow to that. That's just panic. That's no rhythm and that's no flow. The power hour and these behaviors, they come before the inbox. They are part of that list. So have a plan. Even if it's sloppy, even if it's ugly, and it usually is. Let's just be real. I'm not even sure what a perfect day looks like. But I know that I'm committing to putting effort in. I know that I'm committing to the behaviors. Whether it's pretty or it's ugly or it's crazy or it's a little bit one day or it's a crazy amount the next day. I'm committing to the journey. And the last thing I wanted to say, I'm getting eaten up, is I'm going to open, and this is kind of last minute, but I think it's a really good time. I am going to, because it's so easy for us to get off focus from our fitness journey, I'm going to invite you all, and you don't have to if you're already into something right now, we're going to do a 21 Days to Summit challenge group starting tomorrow. For anybody on the team, this is just coaches only team. I'm doing a challenge group where we're focused on our fitness. We're going to focus on what got us in here and share that journey with others. So I'm going to post this on the team page tonight. Please tag your teams if it's so last minute, and I'm not going to be able to communicate it fast. So I'll post it. If you want to be a part of that, there will be prizes. There will be fun, of course. So I want us to get back to some basics, the basics of sharing the journey. So like I said, I'm going to share that in the group tonight. I'll share this document if you want to edit it and make it your own. And 21 days, we're going to just get our butts in gear. I know you might not be going to Summit. That's cool. But Summit's just kind of like a good guideline, like a good deadline, a good marker. Like I said, numbers aren't everything, goals aren't everything, but giving yourself kind of that accountability makes a big difference. So I hope you all will join me. I'm not going to open this up to questions because it's already 9:30, and seriously, I'm becoming like such a meal for these mosquitoes. But if you have any questions, ask in the team page, or perhaps, how about this? If you have any questions, I'm going to go inside and answer your questions. Under the post where I share the raffle, start posting comments and questions below that. Sound good? And when I post the 21-day group, Coaches Only Challenge group, tag anybody on your team that you think would like to rally with you and start a challenge group with Coaches Only. Cool? All right, y'all. Thanks for dealing with all the adjustments that I had to make. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your time. Have an awesome July. I'd love to see you get an awesome 30 days in motion starting now. Have a great night.